Deuteronomy chapter 7. And matter of fact, we're gonna kind of let's go to 6.
Uh,
Read the 6, and we'll just read the last three verses, 6 and 23. Or
and he brought
22.
us,
Hold on, I'm sorry, let me put it on the screen. 6 and 22, brother Kyle. Let's start 22.
and Yahweh shewed signs and wonders great and sore upon Egypt, upon Pharaoh, and upon all his household before our eyes. And he brought us out from thence, that he might bring us in, to give us the land which he sware unto our fathers. And Yahweh commanded us to do all these statutes to fear Yahweh our God, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive, as it is at this day. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before Yahweh our God, as he hath commanded us.
All right. So, beloved, once again, he's always remind us, I brought you out. It's important why he's saying when he repeats things, it's for a reason. All right. He does not want us to forget why he brought us out. He wants us to understand that he is the one, right, that deserve all the praise, honor, and credit for what we are and who we are today. All right. So he showing that to say, I loved you and brought you out. And also, I don't just forget, right? I remember and I uphold the word and the covenant that I made. All right. So he letting us know, all right, I took you out of Egypt. However, this is still part of the covenant and the agreement and arrangement I have with your forefathers, right? Because I told them, I promised them that you will get into a land. All
All
right.
right.
So that's where we at. He's bringing us to this land. Right. And he says, what? And Yahweh commanded us to do all these statutes to fear the Lord our God, for our good always. Okay? So that's very important. Right? He commanded us to do all these statutes to fear Yahweh our God. Not just, oh my God, I'm so scared of you, right? But we can understand. We know who we're dealing with. Okay? So this is why we have the commandments. Not, oh, they're just a burden, they're just this, and he knows he's going to fail. He just gave us something so we can fail. No, that wasn't his purpose. Okay? It's for our good. How long? Always. That he might do what? What is it? What do these commandments and statutes do? They're supposed to preserve us alive. That don't sound bad. It sounds like this thing was a form of love to benefit us. Don't benefit him. He gave us this to benefit us so we can be preserved. And this is going to be our righteousness, beloved. This is what we're going to observe the commandment. So this was accounted to righteousness. Some people just have rules and stuff that they just do, right? But our Father, our God gave us these spiritual laws, all right? And there's a lot of weight into them the more we dive into it, right? But this was accounted to us for righteousness.
Right.
Okay. Let's go now
Mhm.
to chapter 7. All right. We're going to go to chapter 7 again to read our chapter for the evening. All right. So, Deuteronomy chapter 7, and we're going to start at verse 1. Let us get two verses.
Yahweh thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when Yahweh thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor shew mercy unto them.
All right. This is very, very important when we're getting into it. We need to pay attention because a lot of people refer to some of these verses, all right, but some people have not really looked at them and got the context and understanding behind what's happening and what he's doing. Right? So he's going to bring us to the land where thou goes to possess it. All right. So we know this whole traveling since they got out of Egypt, they weren't just supposed to be wandering around, right? They had to get out of Egypt, and he was taking them to the what? The promised land. That land was referred to as the land of Canaan. Okay. Now, this land of Canaan, all right, had a lot of different things going on in there. All right. Well, I should say things. They had nations in there. Okay, this land. So you're gonna go to the land that's for your possession. All right. So the Most High, remember, He speaks as it is because He already knows it's gonna come about. This is your land. No, I set this for you. Right. We just have to go there and just fulfill it. But the land was for us. Okay. They was just sitting there keeping it warm for us. So they cast out, he said, when you go to possess it, and has cast out many nations before thee, meaning there's going to be people there. This is not just no vacant land, open land, and you just go to, no, there's people or nations in there, and he names them. Okay. It ain't the whole world in this land, beloved. Just to understand. He's naming specific nations that's in there. You're not naming Egypt because Egypt, we left there. They got their nation over there. So this ain't everybody else. This is specific nations that were living in that land of promise to us. Okay? And these seven nations that he named, he's saying what? They're greater than you. In what sense? They're put together. They probably got a situate, an organized army on it. They got a whole way of life. All right. So he's saying there's seven nations that are greater than you. And why the Most High do it? Because once again, he wants us to understand his power, his strength. You would not believe how good God is and how powerful he is if we're not going against greater adversaries. What gets you that name, right? To get you that, reputation, you got to take out the big boys. Okay? And when you look at, sports and stuff like that, you're talking about boxing and stuff, right? They don't get credit. You can have a perfect record, but if you just beating a bunch of bums and people that ain't, can't fight good, you're not getting credit for just staying undefeated. But when you start fighting other champions, people that they expect you to lose to and things of that nature, that's where that legacy and that name get built up. So when he was grabbing us, we were not greater than these nations that we were going against. However, it was for his glory. So we can understand it's not about you, it's about the God you serve. You can be outnumbered, you can be outflanked, right? You can be all these things. When you're looking on paper, you should not win, and you would not win. But God, beloved, but God. That is the only stat that matters, right? And this is what our Father is trying to prove to us every time we open this book. He's trying to show us. Doesn't matter who the enemy is when you got me. Okay? Now, verse 2. And when Yahweh thy God shall deliver them before thee, because what? He's saying you're going to win. It's for you. I already promised to your forefathers. You're going to get this land, all right? Thou shalt smite them. So he's giving instructions. You're going to smite them. You're going to utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them, all right? So I don't want you making no covenant with them. I don't want you going in a league with them. Okay, this is not so we can kumbaya in the land. You need to own the land. You need to possess it. If we share and dwell with somebody else in the land, right? That means we what? We're gonna probably get the influence. We're gonna probably not be able to what? Set our own rules. It's different when you own the house or the spot, right? Than you having a roommate, right? Now you just can't make rules, you can't just enforce certain things. You always got to negotiate and all those kind of things. The Most High didn't want us doing that because he set something for us that we can dwell in the land in peace. But you can, just like they say you can't negotiate with terrorists, right? Even the world understand that you can't. We don't negotiate with terrorists, right? Same thing with this, beloved. You can't negotiate with a heathen. What negotiation with a heathen is going to work out good in your favor? Okay. All right, Brother Kai, let's keep going. So you ain't going to make no covenant with them, and you nor show mercy unto them. And I'm sorry, Kai, real quick.
No, no,
We
Khan.
can't. What? We can't actually. When he says show no mercy, you can't show mercy. So sometimes like, oh well, I'm going to show. No, if he say show no mercy, you don't show mercy. Now it's what? Disobedience. All right, because something that we consider mercy, right, may not be mercy in the Most High's eyes. We need to understand that. All right, Brother Kai, you had something?
Yeah, I just wanted to land back off on
Yeah,
what
bring
you
it out.
said. It's a reason why he said, "Don't show no mercy unto these people," because we
Yeah.
know Yahweh is a merciful God. We should skip the 2 chapters, and it's going to tell us
Yep.
why we shouldn't show him no mercy. Deuteronomy 9, and I'll start at verse 4.
Okay.
Okay. It says, "Speak not in thine heart after that Yahweh thy God hath cast them from before thee, saying, For my righteousness Yahweh hath brought me in to possess this land." Listen, this right here. "But for the wickedness of these nations, Yahweh doth drive them out from before thee." So it was basically the wickedness of the nations. You know, he had the cup of the nations fill up, and they
Mhm.
was doing all type of, abominable things in the land, from child sacrifice to, committing bestiality, just all type of wickedness. So it wasn't based off of the children of Israel's righteousness. It was because of the promises he made, to Abraham, and it was because of their wickedness. The Canaanites' wickedness is because he was thrusting them out of the land. That's why he said, "Don't show no mercy upon these people." And I'm gonna land my plane right there, beloved.
Great, great point, beloved. All right. Some things we think in this world have even convinced some of us that we have to prove how righteous we are, and we got to deal with all these wicked and sinners and everything and show. No. There's times the Most High say, "No, I don't want you to deal with that." Why would I? Why would he want you to? Why would he tempt you, right? To have to be with that, and what you can get defiled by it. He's not.
Mm-hmm.
He's not doing something like that. Now he has certain ones that he put an anointing on to deal with certain things.
Hmm.
But if you are being overtaken and you can't even, you know, have enough strength for yourself to save yourself, he ain't choosing you to go save somebody else. I'm just gonna make it plain. All right.
Hmm.
Do they choose lifeguards that can't swim? No. Because what? It'd be two people in trouble. That's worse. But the same thing. All right. So you want to make sure you're converted, then you can convert everybody, you can help others. And that foolishness, when Yahweh Shah was on the scene, he was not going over there being with sinners and indulging in their sins. No. The sinners seeing that light in him, and sinners will see certain things. But now they become in this form of what? A worshiper. They're not all the way converted, but they're what? They're trying to do good. They see the light in you and they're desiring to come to that light. That's different. But oh man, I gotta go to the strip club because they need God too and everything. Half people is not called to do nothing like that. Okay. But there are some, right, that have special callings that can do certain things, but beloved, don't let people convince you with that. No. All right. You let your light shine that what men may see your works. All right. They will be gravitating to you. Okay. And like I said, we can be cordial people. That's part of the ministry and everything like that. But if you can't handle something, don't think you have to be around it and deal with it. Okay. If you can't resist or say no to, sometimes you have your friends and they can be bad influences, right? Trying to get you. If you feel like you don't have enough strength to resist them, you can't deal with the peer pressure, then remove yourself from the situation. You're not proving yourself righteous because I got to stay with them to show that, I'm greater than that and God. No. The strength is not putting yourself in the position to fall. Okay? All right. Let's go back to Deuteronomy 7. That spill was Kai's fault for that. All right. So, all right. So he's going to do it. You're going to destroy them. And I don't want you making no covenants and no mercy with them. And of course, we should have faith that the Most High knows what he's doing, beloved. But sometimes he does make it plain for us and help us out. Like Brother Kai brought out, right? Some of the reasons behind it. But if he just say, listen, don't make no covenant, no mercy with them, beloved, we should just hear it and do it.
Do it.
Why? Well, I don't see it that way, right? That's when we get ourselves in trouble.
Mhm.
Have faith. Either you trust his judgment or you don't. That's all it comes down to. Are you going to trust them or not? Right? All right. Anybody else got anything? Let's keep going.
Verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For they would turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So would the anger of Yahweh be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly.
Very important. All right. Now, this is very particular too, beloved. All right.
Uh,
This is saying don't make marriages with them. Who's the them?
right.
Okay. I'm just giving you context. Don't make people grab some. Yeah, you don't make marriages either. Now, it was a practice and it was always promoted to what? Marriages among yourselves, mothers. Absolutely. That is what you're supposed to do. Okay.
Right.
But this is not saying it was forbidden and they in sin, because then we'll have a lot of our forefathers would have been off. Okay.
Right.
Now take heed to the warning of why. All right. It's very important to understand the why. Because even Israel, you ain't just supposed to marry somebody just because of Israel. No. Because all Israel is what? Not Israel.
Each.
Okay. So we got people going too far right, going too far left. Okay. He's saying don't make marriages with them. And then we see the quotation marks, right? Letting us know what? Why is he now he's giving us, he actually explaining why. Thy daughters thou shalt not give to their sons, and the daughters shall take thy sons. All right. So don't give your son, don't take their daughters so they can marry your son, and don't take sons to marry their daughters. Okay. Why is that very important? Why did he tell him to do that? Because verse 4, for they will turn thy sons from following me. And we can even see that today. I've seen that a lot. Some people I grew up with, beloved, I mean, we were some kids. Our parents grew up, we knew not to eat pork, Sabbath day, wasn't doing, holidays and stuff like that. I go on Facebook, some of my friends that no, they was never even converted or perverted into the holiday. They knew it. Guess what? Go and marry that heathen woman. Guess what they got in there this season, right? This season right now, they got the big old red hat on, right? That tree and doing. Why? Now it is still fault with them. I ain't gonna put on the woman, right? But man's gonna lose his senses when he fall in love. Sometimes he don't stand on the square. All right. And do you want to what? A man want to please his wife. And sometimes they will go beyond what the word of God tell them to do. And yes, that is a fault of theirs. All right. This is why you don't even tempt it, saying, nope, don't do it. I don't care what ethnicity, nationality, whatever. You make sure they are persuaded before you make a what? Because he only saying this because what? That's part of a covenant, beloved. He said, don't make no covenant with them. When you marry, it's a covenant. Because you'll see some of these brothers doing that. They want to marry him and then discard, like, oh, well, they don't count. That marriage don't count. That covenant, nah, it's a covenant. All right. However, this we tell you, don't do it from the jump. But of course, we know Israel. All right. We're not going to listen, but he's already telling you, you do this is what's going to happen. You're going to be turned away, and you're going to serve other gods. And guess what? I'm going to get angry, and then I'm going to have to what? I'm going to destroy you. You said he actually walked down. He actually walked down the why. Because I'm sure somebody was thinking ahead. Why can't we marry them? Why can't? Showing you right here. Okay. A lot of people not giving up their gods, beloved. I know you might think it. Sometimes they'll do it for a season. Ladies, he really love you. Oh, he's gonna put on. He's gonna do the things that he want. But let him get comfortable. If it ain't in his heart, he's gonna go back to what he does. Same thing with the sister. He's gonna go back and revert back. Right. So you want to make sure, like I said, if you are not married or anything yet, it's not even a candidate until they make a covenant with the most high God to do his commandments. All right. That's supposed to be, they're not even a mate, they're not even an option. Until they do these things. Okay. Stop trying. We don't marry. Most I don't tell you to marry potential. All right. Marrying, they think it's a good idea. They willing to do. Nope. Make sure they know what they signed up for. Okay. Now, all that being said, let's go to Exodus 34. All right, we'll go to Exodus chapter 34. Saying nothing new. All right, let's go down to matter of fact, read verse 1 and then jump down to verse 8. Just so we can see something.
And Yahweh said unto Moses, hew thee 2 tables of stone like unto the first, and I will write upon these tables the words that were in the first tables, which thou breakest. And Moses made haste and bowed his head toward the earth and worshipped.
Let's keep going.
And he said, if now I have found grace in thy sight, O Lord, let my Lord, I pray thee, go among us. For it is a stiff-necked people, and pardon our iniquity and our sin, and take us for thine inheritance.
All right. So Moses, what? Pleading on behalf of Israel. All right. He's being somewhat trying to be that what? Mediator. All right. Kind of a foreshadow of Christ, what he does. Let's keep going, though. Let's keep going. Verse 10. Listen.
And he said, behold, I make a covenant before all thy people. I will do marvels, such as have not been done in all the earth, nor any nation. And all the people among which thou art shall see the work of Yahweh, for it is a terrible thing that I will do with thee.
All right. So this is the covenant he's doing. I'm going to do something that nobody else can say they got or have done to them. All right. Let's keep going.
Observe thou that which I command thee this day. Behold, I drive out before thee the Amorite, and the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite.
See, he's being specific because he's talking about you won't go in the land and these people are there. So I want you to listen. Listen to what I'm telling you right now. Let's keep going.
Take heed to thyself, lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land whither thou goest. Lest it be for a snare in the midst of thee.
So it ain't just the marriage as well, right? He said, I don't want you making covenants with them, the inhabitants. Marriage is one of the biggest ones because you tie into it, and now that's one of the strongest ones that we see, right? So that's why I said, don't do that. Because with a man, you marry them, but you also marrying a family, you got all that kind of right, it becomes a lot. And if you got a bunch of heathens, a bunch of pressure this way, and then you got, you try to live for God this way, it causes a lot of chaos. And then it produces what kind of fruit you think is going to be produced. All right. The Most High said, I set it up that I bring two, man and woman, being righteous, and they produce a holy seed. That was the point of this. But if you link up with them, now the child is going to be what? Getting a mixed doctrine. So he's saying he wants to avoid that. Don't make leagues with them. Okay. Now, this can be applied to other nations outside of it. I'm just saying the context he's dealing with them. Okay. Because that's where they're going. That's what they're dealing with. All right. Let's keep going, Brother Kai. I think we're at 12. Are we at 12?
Yeah,
Okay.
take heed to thyself, lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land whither thou goest. Lest it be for a snare in the midst of thee. But ye shall destroy their altars, break their images, and cut down their groves.
Very important. Because we're going to see this later on, not in this chapter. But they're going to be a what? A snare in the midst of thee. The Most High walks it all out for us, beloved. He's not in the business of tricking us, trying to make it hard. He makes things very clear. So we know for sure it's him. And this is the predicament you're in when you don't do this. So he walks it right out. Usually you read what he says for the people, and you're going to realize we do exactly what he say. Don't do it, and the reasons why you shouldn't. Okay? We are people that learn from actually touching the fire instead of just trusting them saying it's going to be hot. You ain't going to like it. It's a consequence. Nah, we always want to touch it. All right? But he says you're going to do what? You're going to destroy the altars, break their images, cut down their groves. Why? Because these are things, once again, it's going to be, when you look at it, you can be enticed by some of these things. Because when people making these gods and stuff like that, it's enticing. Remember, how are these gods made that are not true gods? How are they made? They're made through the imagination of man, right? Man's making it to compel you, to entice you. Once again, we know we want to destroy, but what? We don't even need that temptation taken out. Some things we got to learn about that, beloved. Remove the temptation. Everybody can't deal with the temptation. I would know. I don't. It's just a stupid thing that some artwork that somebody did. I know that. But for a brother or sister, that can mess them up. All right. So when this land, it ain't about tempting. No, we want this thing to be purged. You go to the heathens and everything, you can see and deal with all that. But when you in your land, this is your land. I don't want none of that. This is why we understand when you go to believers, it should be a spirit lifted off. It's supposed to be comfort. It's different. So the Most High having all those temptations. If you want to be righteous, it just feels like you can just fit right into that. Just like when you really desiring God and you run into a church and like this is what I was I was searching for. This is what I was hungry at. This is right. Compared to when you go into some place that's playing games. Right? But this is why the Most High remove all those temptations, all those images, all that stuff, get it out. Okay? Let's keep going. Verse 14.
For thou shalt worship no other God, for Yahweh, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God.
His name is jealous. Is it literally jealous? No, but that's the
Mm.
reputation, right? He's telling you, I'm a jealous God. I don't want to see all these other gods, and you thinking about worshiping them, and you tempted to work. Moving all of them. Okay, I don't want you worshiping. Once you see the images, and we can see it today, beloved, we got worshiping of all kind of images and idols. We got the cross. Some people are brothers, what they call it, the what's the stone that they have? Hobblestone or whatever, the Muslims, right? You got all kind of things. That's why I say remove it. Let's keep going.
You shall make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they go a horn after other gods, after their gods, and do sacrifice unto their gods, and one called thee, that thou eat of his sacrifice.
So that's why he's saying, I don't want you dealing with them and marrying them. Because guess what? They're gonna say, oh, come over. Right? The father-in-law, come over, son. Mother-in-law, yeah, son, come over. Right? Come over and eat with us and feast with us. That's family. So you're more entitled, right? You feel compelled. All right. They're gonna call thee and now eat of that. See, you ain't worried about in your house, maybe you might control that. Nah, here I'm good. But some people, when they get called out, they don't have that strength, that resistance to it. Okay. And they'll be called, and thou eat of his sacrifice. Now you're eating of that sacrifice. Dealing with that God. This is why there was a big problem when we talk about Paul, right? Some people look at us, this is some of the kickback what someone was having. And we ain't supposed to be dealing with things, giving them idols. This is the kind of stuff. That's why I say everybody wasn't be. This was the things that they're looking at, saying, "Nah, we ain't supposed to be dealing with that." Okay. Now, Paul wasn't promoting anything with on the idols, right? But this is where we got to understand where people are at as well. Okay. Don't be doing these things. All right. Even if you called, we got to make sure we're making that separation. All right. Verse 16.
And thou take of their daughters unto thy sons, and their daughters go a horn after their gods, and make thy sons go a horn after their gods.
Read the next verse. Then we're going back.
Thou shalt make thee no molten gods.
All right. All right. So their daughters unto thy sons, right? When you take their daughters, right? Because man, the reason why the man got them is because what? They was enticing to him. Oh man, that's right. And you want to make her happy. So nope. Take that temptation off. Daughters go a whoring after their gods, and make thy sons go a whoring after their gods. All right. They usually always convert us before we convert to a lot of things, beloved. Okay. So don't make leads with them because he do not want us to go and start dealing with what they're dealing with. And so what? We don't be destroyed. This was for us. This is for our benefit, beloved. Okay. All right. Let's go back. And yes, there was heathen women, right? But before they even be married, they should what? They should be converted. Then they should be looked at as eligible. Not saying you still do, then they can be eligible. Okay. But if they're not converted, no matter who it is, they shouldn't be eligible, right? Because all you're doing is tempting yourself to what? Go away from God. That's all you're doing. All right, where we at, Brother Kai, in chapter 7? Back in Deuteronomy 7, beloved. 5? All right,
Mhm.
you got some work to do.
But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. For
Mhm.
thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy God. Yahweh thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Mhm. So he said, we are a holy people, okay? Unto himself, special unto me. That doesn't mean he hates everybody else. I want you to understand it. This one has favor with me, okay? Just like we look at a man and he chooses a wife, he gets a wife. He chose her to be special to himself. That doesn't mean he hates every other woman. Mm-mm. But this one takes priority. This one has a special place in my heart. This one I go a little far and beyond, right? That's what he's saying, beloved. We are elevated and special because he loved us. That's what made us special. Not nothing we did. I know we want to think that, and that helps our help us feel good about ourselves, right? But he chose us. That's special enough. I don't care, right? He loved us even before we had the chance to love him. Isn't that beauty, beloved? Isn't that a beautiful love? He cared for us before we even acknowledged him. Okay? So thou art a holy people unto the Lord, and we are, beloved. We can get listen, you can walk in the confidence. I ain't telling you gotta, well, like everybody else. No, he said you're a special people, you're a holy people. You gotta do the things that's right to make you keep you holy, but we're a holy people. Chose a special to himself above all people. So out of all the nations in the earth, he said, you, I'm going to choose you, and you're going to be mine. That's it. Okay. So he chose us. I won't go to some of the spots with it, right? But really, when you're dealing with that, I think it's in Ezekiel, he really, shows that love he had for us, right? Said we was polluted, nobody cared for us, right? Think about that ugly duckling. Nobody paid her no mind and stuff like that. And then you got this prince or this king come along and say, you know what? I know there's all these ones that everybody else would choose, all these, right? But I want that one right there. I want her right there. And look, her? Out of all of them, right? Egypt, like, look how advanced we are, right? All these nations, look how advanced are. We got more people, but you want them? Nobody wants them. Look at them. They probably won't even exist soon. The Lord was like, I want them. I want them. And I want them to be mine. And from that moment, he chose us. That's what made us special. Wasn't our strength, wasn't all these things, how smart we are, mm-mm. It was the favor of the Most High God that made us special. And the moment we forgot that is the moment we had our downfall. Okay? They only wanted us after the Most High beautified us. For that, they didn't want to deal with us. Okay? So once again, that's what made us special among all the earth. What we was doing the commandment, you only got the commandments because he loved you. Okay. I wanted to make sure, beloved, so we walk in and we understanding what we are doing and going in the right spirit. You need the true knowledge so you understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. Okay. Now you can be confident, right? You can, yes, you should be proud that you're God's people, right? And you doing what he tell you. There's nothing wrong with that. But just don't get cocky thinking it was you and what you did that, you got this. Most High chose you. And that's all he's saying, even with Christ. Okay. But that's another story. Let's keep going, Brother Kyle. Let's keep going.
Yahweh did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people, for
Hmm.
you were the fewest of all people. But
Hmm.
because Yahweh loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he swore unto your fathers, have Yahweh brought you out of with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the hand of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt.
All right. He said, Yahweh didn't set his love. He didn't choose us or love us because we were uh the best of the crop when it comes to nation. He said actually he chose us because we were few. Told you, he only chose us because what? He's showing his glory. It's about him. It's always been about him. What kind of credit am I gonna get if I get a strong nation and rule the world with a strong nation? Okay, that's easy. Anybody, man, can do that, right? But he want to show you how great of a God he is. He said, I'm gonna take the runt of the world and I'm gonna put them on top. So when people look at them and say, "Whoa, that's the few people that we didn't want to be mindful of," right? How did they get to this position where they seem like above us? Oh, it's that God. They're dealing with their God. Their God does that. Wow. Okay, that's the reputation the Most High was doing. And because Yahweh loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he has sworn unto your fathers. This is why we got delivered out of Egypt. This is why we made it into the promised land. Because remember, beloved, he was ready to wipe us all out. All right. Remember, Moses was pleading on our behalf. So, whoa, whoa, think about what the heathen say, right? And he's like, no, I'm gonna get them though. He did get them, but he didn't wipe us all out because he still had to what? He was still going to observe his promise. All right. Even though Abraham and all them were dead and gone, they wouldn't know the difference, right? But he, all right, because he's a truthful God and he hold up covenants and everything, he holds himself to that standard. And he promised them and he will not go back on his promise. So this is why we made it. Okay? Let's keep going.
Know therefore that Yahweh thy God, he is God, the faithful God, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him, and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations,
Hmm.
and repayeth them that hate him to their face, to destroy them. He will not be slack to him that hateth him. He will repay him to his face.
Mhm. So look at verse 9, which keepeth, he's a faithful God, right? Which keepeth covenants and mercies with them that love him.
Uh-huh.
How long? And keep his commandments to
To
a
1,000.
thousand generations. We talk about 3 or 4 generations where you show mercy to 1,000 generations, beloved. I want you to understand when we talk about Christ, remember that whole lineage thing? That was only 40 generations. He said 1,000 this thing stays with. So we just think it expires, huh? Mm-mm. Okay. You use 1,000 generations, but this will hopefully tell you basically this thing is just lasting. Okay. Verse 10, I'll repay them to their face. Okay. And make sure we know that what? Vengeance is his. He'll get it. All right. We read that, and that is true. He will repay those that have done things wrong to his people or have blasphemed went against him. He's going to repay all that. All right. Justice will be served. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Thou shalt therefore keep the commandments and the statutes and the judgments, which I command thee this day, to do them. Wherefore it shall come to pass, if ye hearken to these judgments and keep and do them, that Yahweh thy God shall keep unto thee the covenant and the mercy which he sware unto thy fathers.
You read the next one too.
And he will love thee and bless thee and multiply thee. He will also bless the fruit of thy womb, and the fruit of thy land, thy corn, and thy wine, and thine oil, the increase of thine kind, and the flocks of thy sheep, and the land, which he sware unto thy fathers to give thee.
Okay. So we keep the commandments. I know it sounds repetitive, beloved. Oh my God, keep the commandments. That we get it, we get it, we get it. And as much as we say we get it, we constantly go against it. All right. But we have to what? To do them, not just hear it. The classes, right, that we have is to hear them, but we gotta what? We gotta do them. We gotta perform these things. Wherefore it shall come to pass if you hearken to these judgments and keep them and do them, right? That what? He's going to keep his end of the bargain, which is what? He'll keep the covenant and the mercy he sware unto to thy fathers. Okay. Now they're in the land. So he said, I'll probably your people, they'll get into the land, but to stay in the land, to truly inherit that land, you needed to perform the acts. As long as we're performing what thus saith the Lord, we're good. But once we break it, we breaking that covenant and everything, right? Now we can be taken out. Okay, our protection was only from the Most High Spirit being upon us. But as soon as we reject them, and beloved, I want you to say this ain't no, oops, I did a sin. No, Most High would just get rid of, right? We were practicing sin. Okay, he will give warning, he will bring prophets and everything to warn us, stop what you're doing, blah blah. And we kept on saying, whatever, we're gonna keep doing this. All right, this ain't no oops, slip up stuff, beloved. This is thought out, all right, continually being rebellious to the scriptures. All right. All right. So he's saying what? If he loves us, he's going to bless us and multiply us, right? Bless the fruit of the womb, right? So we have the children and the women being barren, right? That's a blessed thing. Even the fruit of the land, things are growing, agriculture. That's how you survive. That's how you dwell. That's how you're going to have good health, right? It comes from the things you're bringing. So we are going to have everything that we need to what? Preserve our life, like he said he would do, if we just be obedient. That's it. Don't make it complicated. If we listen, you'll get these things. But people want to figure out and sometimes ask, the teachers and preachers, how much can I disobey and still get the favor of God? How much or how far can I sin, but I still reap the benefits of somebody that serves God? That's what a lot of church conversations is dealing with. You don't have none of that. It's either you hear and obey, or you rebel and be destroyed. Don't try to find that line, beloved. Everybody that try to push that line to how far they can get, fell. They fell right over to the other side. All right. But we want to make sure we're not tempting the Lord. All right, Brother Kai. We stop at 14.
Yeah, we're on 14. We started at
Okay.
13.
I'm sorry. Did anybody have anything? I apologize. I have not been asking. All right. We family anyway. Y'all should know by now. All right. Y'all ain't new. Y'all should know by now. Get off of mute, put in the chat whatever you want to do. All right. All right. Nobody got anything. Let's keep going.
Thou shalt be blessed above all people. There shall not be male or female barren among you or among your cattle. And Yahweh will take away from thee all sickness, and will put none of these evil diseases of Egypt, which thou knowest, upon thee, but will lay them upon all them that hate thee.
Yeah.
And thou shalt
Go
and
ahead, read
thou
next
shalt
one.
and thou shalt consume all the people which Yahweh thy God shall deliver thee. Thine eyes shall have no pity upon them, neither shalt thou serve their gods, for that will be a snare unto thee.
Love, look at that verse 14. Thou shalt be blessed above all people. There shall not be a male or female barren among you or among your cattle. All right. This is a blessing. Saying everybody, think about this. Every marriage that we had was what? All the women that, now they might be different, right? But no, women still, that beauty is having children. Okay. So anytime you seeing somebody don't have a child, guess what? That's showing that was one of the curses. Not that that person, I don't get it twisted, beloved. Not that that person was sinning and all that kind of stuff, but we can see this is something from our forefathers. And we would have did right. Never have to worry about that. Think about that. You would never have these clinics and stuff that you got to sit right. Everything. Nope. Never have no issues. That's what the Most High was giving us. But we said, nah, we don't want that, right? We want to be a challenge like everybody else. We want to be like the world. This is what he said to us. Diseases, right? The sicknesses. And all that stuff, dude, all those things that was in Egypt, all those sicknesses and diseases, guess what? You won't get none of them. Not some, beloved. He's saying you won't experience none of them. Because those sicknesses and diseases, they were for a purpose. They were for the enemies of God. They were not designed for you. And we have to understand that, beloved. Some of these things was never designed for us to experience. These things were for the wicked. So when the wicked are going through these things, they're struggling. Man, how all y'all women getting children? How y'all always bearing? It seems like y'all always having children and always, y'all stuff that y'all growing is always good and y'all people ain't sick and all this stuff, right? Look at these hospitals like a business. You should not be having all these hospitals filled up with sick people all the time with stuff. It's a big business now. They want to come to Israel like, hold up, where's your hospitals at? I done went miles. Where's the sick people at? We supposed to be like, nah, like sickness ain't supposed to be prevalent. That's supposed to be here and there. If we're supposed to get it at all, but it's supposed to be something periodically. Not been a whole mansion full of sick people. No, that wasn't designed for us. And when they would have seen that, would have come to Israel like, wait up, how do y'all have it? Like, how were y'all not getting this stuff? Because they wouldn't be able to understand that because of the world they live in. Just like we are having a hard time comprehending how it's supposed to be because we have been indoctrinated from this wicked world and wicked society we're in. But they were supposed to come to us and be like, man, they were supposed to be looking at the marriages like, man, how y'all marriages running like that? Man, y'all children. Why are y'all happy? Why ain't y'all going through torment, right? They're supposed to be looking at us like astonished, like, how? And this is what Queen of Sheba was looking at Solomon and looking like, your servants are happy. Like, it'll be a blessing just to be a servant of you. That will be an honor. She's seen the blessing of this. That's the blessing when they're supposed to look at us and desire, saying, you know what? I got to know about your God. When they ask, how is this capable? How are y'all capable of doing this? Oh, it's our God. These laws and commandments we're doing, this is what has it like this. This is why there's so much peace. This is why we can have the doors unlocked and nobody walking in and trying to kill and shoot up everything, right? It's this. And they was man, I want to, can I be a part of it? Can I learn about your God? That's when they was supposed to be coming. That's how they was going to be converted, beloved. He was making us be the light on the hill, that people that wanted to get out of darkness, they'll go to the light. Because there's going to be storms all around the world. But Israel's going to have peace. And just like a ship on the water, when it's rocking and everything and it's scared, like they're trying to find land, they're trying to find that safe house or that lighthouse. And when they can see that light, that gives them what? Hope. I can be saved. I can be safe. And this is what Christ was saying. We need to let our light shine that men see our good works. People that desire to be saved, they're going to see you and say, you different than other people. Some of y'all probably experienced that. You different. Why don't you react like every other world acts? Why don't you always have an attitude? Why aren't you always just doing this? How is that capable? How are you capable of doing that? And we're supposed to give them the answers. They ask, what must I do to be saved? What must I do? And we say, point them to the word of God. It's our God's doing, not us. Anybody can obtain this if they submit to our God. All right? All right, Brother Kai got me going through a spill again. All right, where we at, Brother Kai?
Verse 17.
All right, let's keep.
If thou shalt say in thine heart, these nations are more than I, how can I depossess them? Thou shalt not be afraid of them, but shalt well remember what Yahweh thy God did unto Pharaoh and unto all Egypt, the great temptations which thine eyes saw, and the signs and the wonders and the mighty hand, and the stretched out arm whereby Yahweh thy God brought thee out. So shall Yahweh thy God do unto all the people of whom thou art afraid.
They saying, you're going to be afraid, right? And this is why the Most High is cutting. Don't have pity on them because this is going to mess up your paradise. Sometimes we preserve things that's going to what? Mess up our paradise, mess up our peace. And this is why being good-hearted, you still have to be disciplined. Because sometimes you being good, you want to accept everything, right? Y'all, we know better, right? They used to have a story about it, they talk about the snake, and I guess the snake was frozen. I might be messing the story up a little bit, but you get the point, right? The snake is frozen, okay? And then that person seeing this dangerous, poisonous snake, right? They say, oh man, I have mercy on the snake. I have the snake, put it close to them, right? Because when you love you, put it close to your bosom, right? And that snake starts to defrost a little bit. And then when that snake get warm and comfortable, right? Get back to itself, what to do? Bites you. And you, what are you doing? Why would you do that? I loved you. I took care. Why would you do that? And the snake, like, you know I'm a snake. Right? You know what I was. Just because you showed that didn't change my nature, what I wanted to be, what I'm going to do. And this is why the Most High will tell us about, nope, you're going to do this. Because sometimes, beloved, we so kind-hearted and things of that nature, and that's beautiful. We all should keep that, beloved. But we don't want to be gullible with certain things. Okay? He knows what they've been doing. They probably had chances, beloved, to get themselves together. And they probably refused and was stiff-necked and rebellious. You're not going to change them. And that's something we have to accept. That's something Brother Mike accept. Don't matter. You can't change them. You can't force them. If God can't change them, you're not going to change them. Christ is the perfect teacher. Everybody didn't accept him. Right? There's certain things, but we just got to accept it. We do what we can do. All right? But sometimes he tells you, stay away from them. Well, no, because no, he told you, stay away from them. That's a commandment unto you. Stay away from them. All you doing now when you want to deal with it is what? Put yourself in the bad stance with God. And in that case, you can't help them anyway because you can't help yourself. So these are the reasons. Not, oh, God just hate people and he just destroyed them. We know God's merciful. We know he's doing certain things. So when he's giving these kind of judgments, it's for a reason. Okay? All right. So he's saying, yeah, you're going to go against nations. They're going to be stronger than you. All right. And you're going to be scared. Yep. Let's keep going.
Moreover, Yahweh thy God will send a hornet among them
Mhm.
until they that are left and hide themselves from thee be destroyed. Thou shalt not be affrighted at them, for Yahweh thy God is among you, a mighty God and terrible.
Keep going.
And Yahweh thy God will put out those nations before thee by little and little. Thou mayest not consume them at once, lest the beasts of the field increase upon thee.
All right. So he does get the Hornets, all right, and they do fight our battle. All right, beloved. This is why I said we serve God and we didn't have to lift up the sword. Okay, if we were doing these things right, we wouldn't have to lift up the sword. He was using these things on the earth that could have protected us from our enemies, but we said, we know what, that's too easy, Lord. We want to get our hands dirty. We want some of our people and brothers, we want them to die and all that. We want that kind of stuff. We want the drama that the other nations have, right? This is how foolish, beloved, we get. All right. But he's saying this is what's going to happen. All right, you're gonna be scared, but basically just believe in him, have faith in him, and you don't got to worry about that. Stop worrying about the enemy, stop worrying about failure. Champions ain't worrying about failures and all they're worrying about what? Only succeeding. Okay. We're not talking about a plan B. We don't prepare for plan B's, beloved. We only what? We only worry about pleasing the most high God. Okay. That's why I'm worried about destruction of hell. Like I don't plan to be there, right? Like it's fun to talk about. We can talk about it, whatever. But my focus, don't get so caught up on that aspect that you forget what you're supposed to be doing. See, a lot of people forget their mission when they all these doing all these sidebar things. Okay, focus on only succeeding. Well, what if I fail? Do you think? Nah, we ain't worried about failure. We won't fail. Put that in your mind. We won't fail. Okay, you can do it, beloved. Each one of us can do it. He wouldn't have called us here into his truth, into his marvelous light to fail. No, he gave us, he gave us this opportunity. Not just gave us the opportunity, he preserved us. He chose us. He didn't choose us to fail. He chose us, letting us know we already got the victory. We just got to endure to the end. That's it. All we have to do is endure, beloved. We already won. Just stay consistent, stay disciplined, and you're good. That's the promise that he gave to us. That's the covenant we entered into. All right. All right, brother Kai. All right, and this one, verse 22. Once again, if you just go and destroy everybody, everything, right? A lot of times they go and kill and you just keep going and everything, right? What's going to happen? Places are going to be abandoned for a while, and what's happened when places get abandoned for a while? The animals and bees start to come around. All right. So he was purging it little by little, right? You're moving the people out, taking the spot over, right? Keeping it occupied. So what? The animals and stuff and the beasts know, okay, we still got our territory. But if they just wiped everything out and then had all these places desolate, now we would have had beasts multiplying, and that could have been problems, right? So giving us a little things of how to do it. All right, finish it up, brother Kai. We can finish it up.
But Yahweh thy God shall deliver them unto thee, and shall destroy them with a mighty destruction, until they be destroyed. And he shall deliver their kings into thine hand, and thou shalt destroy their name from under heaven. There shall no man be able to stand before thee until thou have destroyed them. The graven images of their gods shall ye burn with fire. Thou shalt not desire the silver or gold that is on them, nor take it unto thee, lest thou be snared therein. For it is an abomination to Yahweh thy God. Neither shalt thou bring an abomination into thine house, lest thou be a curse thing like it. But thou shalt utterly detest it, and thou shalt utterly abhor it, for it is a cursed thing.
All right. So they say all money ain't good money. All right. So I'm gonna look more into that as well and the reason why. But once again, it must be the reason. Okay, maybe it's tainted, maybe a spiritual thing is connected to it, and that thing will come right. So there's reasons why he tell you don't mess with it. I told y'all sometimes he'll go and say you kill them. Sometimes you can get the children and the wives and everything and do right. He'll tell you can do with it. Sometimes he'll say nope, kill everything. Sometimes he's telling you you can take the cattle and stuff. Sometimes he's telling you leave it alone. All right. And we see here with even silver and gold. Listen, leave that alone. And we looking at it, I'm like, man, it's just gold. It's just something, just like anything else, ain't nothing to it. But he's saying, now that could have been a reason of maybe the things they're doing. And once again, if they're taking that stuff on and bring to the house, right? Also, there's something they probably want to offer to the Most High. He said, nah, I don't want that. Okay. But he's telling them not even bring it into the house. It's a cursed thing. Okay. So I don't know all the details of what make it a curse and everything like that. But what make it a curse here is because he said, what? Don't mess with it. And that might be all of it. Just to see. Don't touch it. All right. But I haven't seen any other like any laws, precepts that tell you like now this is a curse per se when it comes to yeah, silver and gold. Yeah, so that's all I can say. I don't want to go further than what it says. But of course there is a reasoning behind it, and that's where we have it. Okay. Anybody got any questions, any comments, anything they want to bring out? Good, we're good, we're good. All right, y'all been quiet. I hope everyone's doing good, but we're gonna close it out for those that's watching online through YouTube. As always, we say Shalom and Ayana Abatham, which means peace.